My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design. Hi, designers. Today I'm here with Jennifer Burba, who is one of our Design Suite members that we love. She's done an amazing job, and we thought you would love to hear some of the things that she has done in the program, kind of where she sees her trajectory as she's designing. And I just want to welcome her. Thank you, Jennifer, for being on.
Thank you for inviting me, Carina. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, one of the coolest things about having you on at this stage is that you're like a year in, like you just hit your 1 year mark. So I would love to hear like the highs, the lows of starting your first year as a design business owner.
Well, I think the highs were just the community was amazing and really helped boost my confidence in in my design work, and it made me feel not so far behind, if that makes sense. Um I'm not exactly where I want to be yet because I feel like I had a lot of roadblocks over the last year, but I'm a lot closer than I was before I started.
It's like putting them on the spot. You guys know, like, I do not tell anyone who comes on to the podcast what we're actually going to talk about. So they're like, okay, I just have to be on the spot. Well, here's the interesting thing. Let's talk about a real low, which just happened today to you, which is, and I was like, are we really going to do this? Are you good with it? Which is, just tell everyone what happened to you today, because this is such a bummer.
I know. So I was walking from one room to the other with my laptop in my hand, and it was open because I wanted to show my husband what had been working on. And it was one of those rooms where you have to step up a level to get into it. And my foot caught on the step and I tripped and dropped my laptop, and the screen bent and cracked. The rest of the laptop looks fine. So I'm crossing my fingers that when I take it to the Apple store, they'll be able to fix it, no problems. So yeah.
So crazy. That's a real low. Like I was like, that's the kind of thing that I'd be like, cancel all my meetings. I can't talk to anyone. I just need to go fix this one thing. So it's crazy that she even came to do the podcast today. So that's a real low. I would actually love to know, like, I mean, so you really did get along with the community. Remind me what squad group you're in.
The roses.
Okay, so you're in the Rose group. You guys are a chatty group. I'm gonna
Yes.
say that.
Yes, there are times when I get on Marco Polo and there's like 100 plus unread messages.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because I always go back and forth on whether the Marco Polo is a good thing for us to be using in our program or not. We haven't always. And we have it separated by group because we used to be all in the same group. And that was really, really bad because it was such a big group. But now we have it separated into two groups. We have in the past also been separated down to three groups. Tell me about your experience in terms of like the Marco Polo group, because that's been really, I think, effective in terms of community.
Yeah, I love it. Because you get to know about everybody more than just the design side of things. And it really helps you click. Um, and also everyone is so great in there. Like, none of the like political or religious or any of those kind of topics come up. Everybody kind of just respects each other's and that type, but we still talk about different things that are going on in our lives. We just celebrated Halloween and everybody talked about well, not everybody, everyone, most people talked about what they were dressing up as and what their night was like and shared their Halloween decorations, and it was just fun. And then, the next video is questions about, I need help on this design issue I'm having. And it's fun how it just flows back and forth into that between personal and business. And it's like you're talking with your friends. It's great.
Yeah, I love that about the Marco Polo groups because so many of you do become great friends from that, which is really a wonderful thing. Other than the community, what else have you been working on in your business? And maybe we should talk about like what we call in Design Suite the area of focus. What area of focus do you really create products in?
So I started with sticker sheets and I still do them a little bit. I actually have gotten approved to submit to the silhouette shop, but I have some of my SVGs I have to cut out and then make the actual product so I can have a picture of it, the actual finished product. I have everything except a banner cut out, and banners take the most time. So
Yeah.
um but so SVGs and sticker sheets is my main focus right now. I've started doing layered cards, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, so good. We do have like an emphasis at this moment in time in helping people get into the Silhouette store directly in Design Suite because of our relationship with them. And I think that's going to be really good for so many of you because what I'm seeing is you guys really push yourself to create new and interesting things.
Yes. And what's really cool also is that I do a lot of things for friends and family, and I you know, you can't always easily find those out there. I'm trying to think of an example. Like logos and stuff that aren't created for a cutting machine to cut out. So through what I've learned with Design Suite, I've learned how to take those things and do image trace and make it a usable file for a cutting machine, which has been a lot of fun and really made me popular with my family. And of course, word of mouth is always the best marketing. So they're telling their friends, and that's where I'm getting more and more business from, is just
Yeah.
word of mouth.
So I should ask you this. Are you doing some freelance business at this point?
I'm doing a little bit here and there. I'm doing a little bit here and there. I mostly with like my embroidery machine, and my husband's a woodworker, so he just recently made a helmet rack for his motorcycle helmets, and I made a vinyl cutout of a logo to put on the plaque or whatever you want to call it. And now his best friend, who also rides motorcycles, wants the same thing. So it's kind of like, so right now it's just personal freelance. I'm not outside of family or friends yet for that kind of freelance. I guess some of the vendors from my wedding, I've done hats and stuff for, and I've taken their logos and turned it into embroidery designs, which, you know, Design Suite helped me with that because I have to make it into like an SVG style file before I can turn it into an embroidery file. So
Yeah. Do you feel like Design Suite's really good for teaching production? Is that one of the biggest things you've learned, or do you feel like just tell me what you think is like the thing that really like has propelled you in doing all of the design work that you are doing?
yeah, definitely the production with turning the files into workable files for cutting machines has been huge. But also the depth that goes into with Illustrator and Photoshop, and I even just finished an InDesign course. There's just there's so much information in the courses that really helps me be able to use them in ways that I hadn't been able to use them before because I just didn't know. And I've taken other online courses to try to learn these programs, but I found like with Design Suite, it's almost like you have all of the information that's actually useful for a designer. Whereas when you go out and look at all these other things, not everything is going to be, I can't think of the word, relevant to a designer. So
Yeah. I see the same thing all the time because people will tell me, "Oh, I'm just going to take this Illustrator class." And I'm like, "Good luck learning how it will like affect your actual marketable products." Because the problem is learning just Illustrator. Well, there's two issues, I think. The one that I run in the most is it's not motivating to finish because if you know that every course you're taking in Design Suite will lead you to making more products that you can sell, because we very much encourage everyone to do that. Then that keeps you motivated to actually be learning. The second is they won't teach you things like what are the die line strokes? Like what setup should I be in? What bleed size do I need? And so because you don't know any of those things, you still are at square one when you start making products.
yes, absolutely. Sorry.
You're totally fine. Okay, so Jennifer, I would totally love to know kind of where you see yourself headed. Jennifer, you have like a big plate of stuff. First of all,
Yes.
we didn't even talk about that. Do you want to talk about your number of kids and all the stuff you have going on?
Sure, yeah. Well, I have two children myself, and my husband has two children, so together we have 12. But out of that 12, uh, five of them are
Wait,
adults and
you
out
said
of
you
the
have
house.
two children?
Two stepchildren
Okay, you have two stepchildren. How many
and
children
10
do you have?
children.
Okay,
10.
so there are 10 children no, there's 12 children in total.
Yes. Yep.
I don't think I knew there was 12. I knew that there was a lot, but I didn't know there were 12 children in total.
Yes. Yep.
And
So,
some are in college at this point, right? Or
yes.
have left home,
Um,
but
yeah. So five of them are out of the house. The let's see. Our My husband's daughter just had her first baby. My husband's son, they're pregnant with their first baby, so we have a second grandchild on the way now. And then my three oldest kids are are on their own. They're not married yet, but they're the same age as his kids. And then I just had my fourth child go off to college. So I have six living at home. My
which is
youngest is 3
still
years old.
a lot. Yeah, and her
Yes.
youngest is 3 years old. So if you hear anybody in the background, that is her daughter because her daughter's here with us, which is pretty fun.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a lot on your plate. You have a few things going on. But here's the crazy thing. When I started the university, you got super inspired. What did you end up doing?
Yes, I was so inspired because I don't think, I really loved creating products. I never thought about selling my designs because I was doing a little bit of my own design work, but just a little bit. Most of the stuff I was buying other people's designs and putting it on t-shirts and stuff like that. Um, but going through this program, it just really made me realize how much I love graphic design and doing all this design work. So I've decided to go back to college because I did do a year of college before I got married to my first husband. And I'm going to get my bachelor's degree in graphic design. And then I'm hoping to enter into Carina's master's degree program shortly after that. Hopefully
Yeah.
right after it.
It would be so awesome. So just so you guys know, the University of Arts and Design doesn't have a bachelor's degree program. We just have a design certificate program. We're mostly a graduate program. And so I really love that, like, you just like literally jumped in. You were like, you know what? I am going to finish my bachelor's degree because you already had some credits. And I was like, this is so cool that you're like, oh, I can see the trajectory of my life now, that there are these other cool things that I can really do. And I am
Yes.
so impressed by that. The number of you who have been like, you know what, like I think there's this thing in my life that I need and I'm going to go do it. And so not only are you in design suite and you're going to spend another 6 months with us, but you're working on your bachelor's degree and you have 6 kids at home.
Yes.
No one
Yep.
else can tell me. If you're listening to this and you tell me I just can't do it, Karina, I'm gonna be like, go listen to Jennifer because this is a lot. How do you manage that?
Um, you know, I just do it. I mean, I I do a lot of my um schoolwork and design work while the older kids are in school. Um, but then they also, they're really good about being mostly independent. So they allow me to get work done when they're home too. And in fact, three of them, because so my two teenagers, they're boys and they just go off and do their own thing. But then I have a 11, 8, and 7 year olds who will actually sit at the dining room table with me while I'm on my laptop doing my design work. And they have notebooks and stuff out and they're making their own designs and coloring pictures and everything. I actually just gave my 11-year-old my old iPad, and she has started using Adobe Illustrator on the iPad because I really want to try to foster that love for art and get her started early. And she's already asking about making her own stickers that we can sell and stuff like that. So it's really fun. It's become like a family ordeal kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this might be my favorite sideline story that we get from Design Suite members, that it's not just the mom or the grandma of the family who's doing this. Suddenly you guys are letting this creativity foster in your children because you're modeling it. They're seeing that there's something they can do. And they say this so often in careers in general. Like, there's a reason that if a dad's an attorney, the son becomes the attorney kind of situation. And I think that I keep seeing this over and over again because once you see what's possible, you're like, why can't I do this as well? I think it's so cool that you're already teaching them not just to make art, but you said stickers. Like they're thinking in marketable product terms, which is the right way to think about it.
Yes, exactly. Because my daughter just went off to college, went off to get, well, she originally was going to get an associate's degree in baking and pastry arts, but she's decided to take it a step further and get a bachelor's degree in hospitality and food management because she wants to open her own bakery. And then she's also started talking about, Mom, you could sell your products in my bakery, and it could be a whole bakery and store thing. So she's starting to think about the whole family business type thing now too. So it's really
Yeah.
fun.
I love that entrepreneurship and that feeling of like, I could do this and I could involve people around me in this. I think that's an incredibly powerful thing. So I'm so impressed with that. Way to hand that down. So, bachelor's degree, kids at home, kids in college, in Design Suite. What are your next steps?
So I'm just gonna continue adding stuff to my Etsy store, finishing my degree, seeing where that takes me. I have been looking at possible graphic design jobs or internships. Um, but my husband, like I said, is a woodworker, so we not only have the design business, but we are selling physical products as well. And so I'm the behind the scenes listing everything up on Etsy because he also has a full-time job making the majority of the money right now. My goal is to hopefully make enough where he could get a job that's not so demanding, because right now he's never home for dinner except for his 2 days off, and we would love to have him home for dinner every night, but we just can't afford that right now. Um so that's the goal, just to and I also love the idea of the design business is something that I can easily do when we retire, and it's almost like passive income, but not quite. But it's easier because it doesn't involve that physical labor type stuff.
Yeah, I agree. The number of people that we have in retirement in Design Suite has always surprised me because they're enjoying retirement, but they're actually building businesses at the same time and they like the extra income that comes from it. And I think that's a really cool thing. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on. I would love for people to be able to go see what you're doing. Where could we send them so they could see either your physical products or your digital stuff? Do you have anywhere you would like to send them right now?
Probably the most active location to see what I'm up to would be on Facebook, and it's just Burba Designs on Facebook. I think you can do facebook.com/Burba Designs.
Burba
Yeah.
Designs. We'll put it in the show notes for you guys. So if you're like, wait, what is that? We'll put it in the show notes for you guys to go check out and see what she's doing. Jennifer, thanks so much for being on. Thanks for being such a great design. I mean, Design Suite is great. I always tell people I mean, yes, we put in the program, but the community is great because of the people in it. And you can kind of hear with Jennifer here, she's like so light and upbeat, despite things like her computer breaking, like which she's totally in the car for to go get her computer fixed. And she's also had some really hard things, which we didn't even touch on in this episode. But if you want to go hear of a couple of things, go check out one of the panels I did. She was on it for the Design Suite Maker Conference on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Carina Gardner. Jennifer's had, I remember even when you first told me like what was going on and like you were like, I'm going to do this. I was like, what the heck? This woman has been through so much and she's still smiling and still getting it done and having really good big dreams, not just for her life, but for her kids' lives, which is so incredible. Sometimes it's just mindset. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for being on this episode. And all of you guys out there, go check out what she's doing. And I hope that we've inspired you to continue in your own design business. And we'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsweetcourses.com/free.